Okay, so once you've gotten through adding all of that action script, I'll go ahead and reopen it up. Notice that when I open up my action script or my file, it says that a target version of Adobe Air SDK 21.0 is no longer available. That's because it's always updating, so it's always going to say that. Go ahead and click OK. Okay, so at this point, you should have your FLA file. The icons should be on the top level folder. So if I collapse all these, you should have your FLA file, a folder called icons that has the 6 icons in it. Those were already pre-made. If you want to make your own, that's okay. They just have to be perfect squares. So this one is 36, so it's 36 by 36, 48 by 48, etc. And then you have the data. So this should have your questions JSON file in there. And I just named mine with the particular theme I was going with. And then you should have the com and whatever the domain you chose was, and then a questionbank.as and a quizgame.as. Okay, so I haven't tried to publish this or preview this at all. If you previewed it or tried to publish it by doing Command or Control Enter, then you might have other files here. So we need to talk about publishing. In the book, it doesn't really have a lot of published settings for you. So in the particular assignment instructions, and depending on how old this video is, right now in fall 2017, this is what it actually looks like. But, you know, like I said, it is always updating every single semester. It's always updating and there's always something new. So it might not look exactly like this, but make sure you look at your assignment page so you can see the updated settings for how you should publish it. So hopefully you've made this an Android document, because an iOS document you can't create a certificate for. You need to get certificates. If you look at the very top of the table, it says you have to have a certificate from various iOS authorities. So that means that you can't publish it, or at least publish all of it, if you created an iOS. So for Android, if we come over here, let's see. Let's first go to File and choose Air, whatever this is. Again, mine is at 25.0. Yours might be something later depending on when you're watching this video. And you should see something like this. So you're going to have to go through all of these. Now, I've already set up a bunch of my settings because this was already pre-made before this class started. So this is going to say, what is the output file supposed to be called? And it should have .apk. If your computer doesn't show extensions, that's okay. But just know that that's going to create an APK. So, and the app name, you can give it a particular name. So again, usually you'll put your last name and then chapter 7 quiz, but I put practice for all of mine because these are the demo files I use. All right, so then it says, what's the app ID? As we're going through it, see, we're on the general tab and it says, so for the output file, what should your app ID mean or say? And so mine was com.multimediamcc.com or .quiz app, sorry. Okay, so you don't really have to worry about any of this other stuff. Full screen is awesome, but we're not going to check that right now. We're going to do just the basic settings that we need to have. So the processor is ARM. So then when we go to deployment, it's going to ask you what their certificate is. Now mine has something loaded in here because I've already created a certificate for this particular assignment. But if you don't have a certificate, then you're going to click create and it tells you all the things you need to put in here. So for publish name, I'm going to put my name. Organization unit MGD 143, that's the class, and your home college. So mine is Morgan Community College. And just so I know what password you use, just use animation, because seriously, if you put some other thing, I'm not going to have any clue. So make sure it's exactly the same. I used a capital A for both of them. And you don't have to worry about any of those other settings. We'll go ahead and choose what we want to call it as. So make sure it's going to the same project folder, and it should automatically, but if not, see, mine's not going to the same folder. So I'll click on desktop, and I think I'm in this publish copy because I've tried to create this video too many times. So it's going to be automatically call it whatever you name the file, and then it's .p12. So again, mine shows the extension, yours may not, but this is just that certificate. So I'll go ahead and click save and then click OK. And once that certificate is created, it says it's a self-sign, it has been created, it's added there. You're going to want to put that same password in, and then you can check to say remember password for this session. Okay, so Android deployment type, you just want to choose device release, and then icon tab, we're going to come over here. So as you can see, I've already put icon 36 by 36. We're going to go here and choose icons and choose that 36, and then 48 by 48. Oops, 72 by 72. 96 by 96. And this is why I gave you these, because it would be tedious to make all of these. And I didn't want you guys spending your time on that. But if you make one, it'd be really cool. So, all right. So it's kind of generic quiz app, but whatever. Okay, so icon, you don't have to worry about permissions or languages. I think we've got everything. Languages, we can check English just to make sure. Okay, so just checking one more time, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and either click OK or hit publish. So we'll just do publish because we've never done that before. And it might take a while. If it gets stuck with these, in my mind, just let it run for a minute. Go walk away, eat lunch, whatever it may be. And it'll say application has not specified its permission requirements in application.xml. So let's go ahead and see if it worked. Okay, and then okay. All right, so now we have an XML file, an APK, the Flash file, we have the certificate, which is the P12 file, and then we have the Swift file that was created with it. So if I click Swift, it should open up. Negative letter spacing can be hard to read. True. Ah, it's working. Comic Sans is appropriate. Heck no, it's not. So false. Correct. Awesome. So it's working for me. Now the only problem is see how it doesn't have an HTML file. So you can just try to publish this. Let's see. Publish settings. Just the regular old publish settings. So you can choose HTML wrapper. And it's going to create a Swift file. And then I think we're okay with all that other kind of stuff. But let's see. Publish. And again, it's just taking a little bit of time. And then click OK. And now we should be able to open the HTML. Okay, so see how it's not bringing up this and nothing's working? Here's the thing. It may be because, and this happens a lot, like I put Instagram gives you embed code that you can put your Instagram feed on your HTML file. And so every time I'm building a website, I put that code into the website and then I freak out because it's not actually working on the website. And that's because it actually has to be uploaded. So don't worry about this not working. You just want to have the HTML file. And then for the Swift file, that should be working. So if the Swift file is not working, then you know something's wrong and you need to go back and check your code and check your publish settings. So if the contrast between font and background is low, it can be hard to read. True. Yay. Okay. We're going to just keep saying true to everything and see what happens. Jeez. Okay. So it got up to 100 points. So it asked me enough for that, and awesome. Okay. So don't worry about the HTML file or the HTML not working. You just want to make sure the Swift is working. That is it for this particular assignment. I don't know. Oopsie, I'm uploading these tutorial videos right now, but I don't know that there's anything else I can warn you about. You're just going to have to troubleshoot and look at the side-by-side code and look at all of these different settings. And if you get an error message, what I want you to try to do is Google search it first. Second, after you've kind of double checked that things are equal between your code and his code or my code. And then if it is, then try to Google search it. But as always, you guys can always email me. You can ask questions in the Q&A to see if you guys can help each other out with that. And we'll figure out a way to make it work. So worst case scenario, turn it in if it's really not working. And if it was kind of an error that is a global error, meaning that there's something wrong with Animate CC and it wasn't your fault, so to speak, then, well, not like anything is your guys' fault. I mean, you're learning, but let's say for some reason it's not working because the 2.5 or 25.0 error SDK, whatever, is not the right number, then that's something that I will consider, that I will take into consideration when grading it. So don't panic about this, guys, and just try your best with it and follow along with the action script and follow along with these videos, and hopefully you will get through it and make your very first app in Animate CC.